Millions of Americans are seeing their credit scores drop and fast. A new report from the New York Fed shows student loan delinquencies are surging now that pandemic protections have come to an end. So what does that mean for someone's ability to buy a car or get a mortgage, maybe even just rent an apartment? Here to talk about this is money and business expert Derek Kinney. Derek, thanks as always for being with us today. A lot of people going through this right now.
My pleasure. Great to see you, Jason.
So let's talk about why credit scores are dropping in the first place so dramatically right now, and what changed that caused a rise in delinquencies.
Well, the big thing is the word delinquency, and that is there's a lot of student debt that was put on pause. People didn't have to pay it back. Now that pause has ended. And because of that, that entire time is considered to be delinquent. And so we're seeing more and more Americans who are hardworking, they went to college, did all the right things. Now they've got this debt and don't know what to do with it. So for many people who feel like they're barely making ends meet, this could be that final straw that can really crush them financially.
Yeah, the struggle is real for a bunch of folks, Derek. So let's talk about this a little bit more. How does a credit score drop of, let's say, 100 points or more materially affect someone's ability to get approved, whether it be for a car loan or a mortgage, or even just to be able to rent an apartment?
Well, think back to when we were all kids and we got a report card that said NI needs improvement. And our parents had to sign off that we would work on some things. That's what people's credit is facing right now. If you have a drop of 100, even 200, it moves you into a category of you're forced to pay a higher interest rate if you're going to borrow. So the credit score is like the oil in your engine. It makes things flow smoothly, and you want to work diligently, almost like it's gold bars in your house. You want to protect that credit score. And if you see it dropping, you want to begin to call your creditors immediately and work out some payment plans and make sure they can give you in writing the fact that this will not hurt your credit score or hurt your ability to borrow money.
Yeah, I think that leads me nicely into the next thing we were going to ask you about. If a borrower is at risk of missing payments, if you kind of see that coming down the road from you here and you know that you're not going to be able to make ends meet, what kind of proactive steps should you be taking right now to avoid hurting your credit when you can't make those payments?
Well, let's get it. I understand this is emotional. It can be embarrassing. Derek, I don't want to call my creditor. I don't want to call my loan servicing company. They're going to look down on me. Listen, the reality is you are where you are right now with your debt. And if you don't take action, you're going to get snowed under and it's going to crush you financially. It could really cause some long-term harm. You want to call them immediately and say, look, I want to pay. Let's work out a plan to help these items go along smoothly. Because keep in mind, these people want to get paid, Jason. They want to earn the interest. They just want to get their money back. They're more willing to work with you now than ever, but you've got to call them. If you don't call them, they don't hear from you, they're going to come down on you, and that could really hurt you financially, and it could really cause you possibly have to go into bankruptcy or even worse, which could hurt your financial future.
Yeah, and they don't know you have a problem unless you talk to them about the fact that you have a problem, and maybe they'll be willing to make a deal. Let's talk about the biggest mistake that people make when it comes to their credit now, Derek, and basically how the rest of us, or how they too can avoid that mistake.
The biggest mistake I find people make is they tend to roll over their debt or find ways to keep postponing paying the debt. I'm going to move this from one card to the next. I'm going to take my credit loan and move it someplace else. Ultimately, you've got to pay it. And that's what this administration has said is the buck has stopped. The light is now turned red. We've got to deal with this. So don't go this alone and try to figure it out. If you feel like you're over your head, call, as I just said, call the creditors, call the loan company. They're more than typically willing to work it out if you in good faith can show I will at least make these minimum payments. But make sure, and this is critical for all of our viewers, make sure in writing they state that whatever the payment is, it will not harm your credit score or hurt you financially. Do that, and you're going to get your back on that glide path to future financial success.
Derek, thank you so much. Some sage advice here today. We're probably just seeing the tip of the iceberg right now of the number of people who are going to be going through this in the months ahead. So much appreciated, very timely. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you, Jason.